Hey guys, today's going to be all about learning where the notes are on the neck. It's really easy to do if you've actually got a really good system, and this is something I came up with when I was probably in my early 20s. It's worked really well. I've used it on a lot of my students and I've seen really good success with it. It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes a day. Not something you really have to be too strict on, but as long as you do it every day, it's about consistency. So if you've ever found you get lost easily while you're playing, or if you're watching a YouTube video and you kind of have no idea what they're going on about, you'll be able to remember solos and licks a lot more easily. So if you've ever spent a lot of time on a lick or a solo, hours and hours, and then maybe put it down for a couple of weeks and then come back to it later, just can't even remember where it starts. You will start to learn from everything that you play and things that you've already learned in the past. You'll be able to see what's happening and actually use different concepts and techniques a lot easier throughout your playing, not just for that one thing you're playing at the time. Obviously not getting lost on the fretboard, which is super annoying. If you know where the notes are, it's a lot easier to have anchor points where you can always reference back to and just keep on track, so you don't end up just going into no man's land and have no idea what you're doing. Learning the notes on the fretboard is really the starting point for a lot deeper fretboard knowledge. So it's kind of one of the 4 pillars of fretboard knowledge, and I think it's definitely the most important one. Everything's based around that. So to start with, we're going to be working with string pairs, and we're going to be doing a pattern based approach, and then we add the notes in after that. Let's get into it. First off, the pattern is in 3 separate positions. We've got the first position with 4 fingers, the 5th position, and the 9th position. So the position is just where the fret that your first finger is on, and then each finger gets a fret. So first position is going to be here, covering these 4 frets. 5th position is going to be here, covering these 4 frets, and 9th position is going to be here, covering these 4. And it just creates a nice, easy pattern to learn. So the first pattern is open, 1st fret, 3rd fret. Then you're going to shift to the 5th position. Then you've got 1st, 3rd, and pinky. So frets 5, 7, and 8. And then you're going to shift to the 9th position, and you've got frets 10 and 12. And they're going to be with your 2nd and pinky finger. So 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. And that's the pattern for this E string. Now hang with me here, because it's all going to make sense as we go along. Okay, so we're doing these strings in pairs, so we're working on the E string and the A string. So the great thing is when we move to the A string, the pattern only changes by 1 fret. So instead of 0, 1, 3, we've got 0, 2, 3 down this end. And then the pattern is the same. 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Now you might be wondering why I'm using my 2nd and pinky up here, and it's because I'm trying to stay strictly to this 9th position. So I'm going to be using my 2nd on the 10th fret and my pinky on the 12th. And what this does, it gives a finger association to these notes. When we start adding the note names in, you get an association with the finger, the fret, and the name. So it makes it really quick and easy to learn. So let's go through those patterns again on the fat string. 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 with my 2nd and pinky. And this one is almost identical. 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. The great thing is now is you've also learnt this bottom string at the same time. So the pattern for the thin string is it's also an E string, so it's the same as the fat string. 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. So that's the patterns for half the guitar done, because from that 12th fret up, obviously it's a mirror image. So the next step after you've got these patterns, you feel very comfortable with these patterns, just say the notes as you go. So it's just the alphabet to G, and then it starts back at A again. So this is the E string, so we've got E, F, G. Now we start back at A, B, C, D, E. And it just follows that pattern. No sharps or flats, just the whole notes. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Next string down, remember the pattern only changes by 1 fret. Now this is the A string, so kind of easy, it's just the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then back to A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And that is basically it. The bottom string's obviously the same as E string. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So you start to associate certain fingers with notes. Like for me, the E string, the C was one of the first I could find because it was the only pinky, or it was the pinky in the middle of the string. And I remember that 8th fret being C. I remember vividly remembering I could find C really easily on that string, really quickly. So that is those 2 strings done, and that's all you do. Just go through the pattern: E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and the next string down: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And you just say them to yourself as you're doing it. You can even sing them, but I'm not going to do that for you because I don't want to wreck this video. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so heading down to the next string pair, we've got the D and the G strings. Kind of the same deal, and they also have a very, very similar pattern. So the pattern for the D string goes 0, 2, 3 in the first position. You move to the 5th position, and you've got 5 and 7, just those 2 in that position. Then you shift to the 9th position. You've got 9, 10, 12. So let's do that one again. 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. And I'm staying in position the whole time, making sure I use the same fingers each time round. The next string down, the G string, is almost identical to this D string, bar 1 fret. So, and it's in this first position area. So you've got 0, 2, and then a 4. That's the only difference. And now the rest of the string's the same. So you've got 0, 2, 4, then 5, 7 again, in the 5th position. Then 9th position is the same. 9, 10, 12. So let's do that one again. 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. Now we go through the same process as before, saying the names of the notes as we go. So we'll start on the D string. So remember, it's just the alphabet to G and then starts back at A again, and it keeps cycling through. So this one starts at D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So let's do that one again. D, E, F, then G, A in the middle, G, A, B, C, D, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. The next string down starts on a G note. So same deal. Remember the pattern changes by 1 fret. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now try to refrain from doing this one with these fingers. I know it's easier, but it's nice to stick to patterns, especially if you start to do these vertically as well later on. As another, you can do that as another exercise, just vertically do them in each position. So you've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So let's go through those both again together. The D string, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And the G string is G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that is that pair. And same as the last ones, you just go through them. You don't have to do it all. You can just work on a 1 string pair at a time, or even just 1 string, as long as you're doing it consistently every day. It's absolute key to getting this down. And then finally the B string. Now this string is its own little pattern. It's different from the others. So I actually found the B string the easiest to learn out of all the strings, just because it was the pattern was different from everything else. So we've got 0, 1, 3. Then you move to the 5th position, you've got 5, 6, 8. And then the 9th position, you've got 10, 12. So let's do it again. 0, 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. One more time. 0, 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. And the next step is obviously the same as the last lot of strings. We're going to be saying the names of those notes as we go. So this one starts on a B. So you've got B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Let's do that again. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Once you get comfortable with it, it's pretty easy to practice, and you can just practice it in pairs. Apart from the B string, I tend to practice that by itself. And then the bottom E string is the same as the fat E string. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Obviously finding the sharps and flats, that's just another thing that you might be wondering about. So when you land on a note, just say we go to A, E, F, G, A. If you are looking for A sharp, you just move the pitch up 1 fret. And there you have an A sharp. If you want to find A flat, you find the A and move down 1. And that gives you the A flat. I'm actually trying to develop a separate exercise for the sharps and flats to make them more individual instead of using a reference note. It's a really bad idea to start using reference notes to find other notes. It's just good just to know where they are. And I know a lot of guitarists, if they're looking for like a G, they'll find this one and they know you can go up 2 frets, down 2 strings. There's one there, and then there's one there. But it's just so slow, and you'll never really get that instantaneous recognition of the notes doing it that way. You kind of need to just know that's a G, and that's a G, and that's a G. You just need to know where they are without really having to think about it. And it's something I still work on a lot. And for a lot of years, I actually didn't work on it that much. And I feel like I could be a lot better guitarist now if I worked on more fretboard knowledge. Even though it's not as fun as learning the newest, coolest lick, it just gives you so much more in the long run. Practice through those slow. Use the chapters. Keep coming back to this exercise and this video, and going through them nice and slow, keeping in position, and then just saying those notes as you go. And if you do it every day, a small amount every day, it will just start to work its way into your playing without you having to really think about it. You'll just start seeing the notes appear. And I know that because that's how it happened for me, and that's how it's happened for a lot of my students. It's a really cool feeling when you start to finally see what's going on here instead of feeling like you are just playing a whole bunch of strings and frets, or maybe just solely working it off patterns. It enhances those patterns. Patterns are really important. It really makes them make a lot more sense. So it's the fundamental for learning everything if your goal is to move forward on guitar and really want to unlock your potential. It's just going to do so much for you. So I can't stress it enough. I'm probably going on about it, but man, it is just one of the greatest things I ever did was just learn those notes. And fretboard knowledge does go on from there, but it's a great start, and for a lot of people that might be all they ever really need to have to get to where they want to get to achieve their goals musically. So crack into it. Yeah, so one more thing that I didn't mention is we're only going to that 12th fret because that's the octave. So once you get to the 12th fret, the pattern repeats the same. You just treat the 0, the open string, and the 12th fret as the same. Well, it's the same note. So as far as the pattern goes, treat the open string and the 12th fret as the same. It's the same pattern going up that string. You just say the names of the notes in the same spot. It's actually pretty easy to work out. I just thought I'd mention it. Cool, so that's basically how it all works. Just remember, consistency is the key. I know I've probably said that 1,000 times by now, but if you just do it every day, imagine in a week's time where you'll be with this. You'll look down at the neck and you'll actually start to see these notes start to just appear. It's a really awesome thing when that happens, and for me, it's just massively expanded what I was able to learn on the guitar, more than I ever thought I could. Couple of extra exercises you can do is obviously doing it in reverse. And the other thing is just finding single notes. So you might pick A and just find the A's up to that 12th fret. One other thing that I find that really helps is when you're improvising, try to be aware of where the root note is. And it's another way that you can practice this while you're soloing or improvising or any sort of other practice you're doing at the time. Even when you're doing chord work, you can be looking for an additional root note. So there is definitely a lot more to learning the neck than just learning where the notes are, but it's a really, really powerful start, and that can, for a lot of people, that can be as far as you need to go, but it's really one of the 4 main pillars of fretboard knowledge, and it's something I really want to get into in other videos, because for me, fretboard knowledge is the great leveler. It really can, you might not have flashy technique or have a whole bunch of crazy speed licks that you can impress people with, but if you have really good fretboard knowledge, you just have a massive amount of freedom on the instrument, and you really do see that with some of the best players. They seem like they've got so much freedom, and it's because they can see where they're going. It doesn't just look like wood and strings and some frets. They can see the map of where they want to go, and it's not something they need to really think about too much. It's in the back of their mind. If that's something that you would love to be able to do, it all starts with learning where these notes are on the neck. Without that, you've kind of got nothing. You can't build from there. It's probably one of the best ways I can see moving forward on the instrument and getting to attaining other levels. So keep practicing it. I guarantee you will get results from doing this method. I've seen it so many times, and it'll just make playing the guitar so much more enjoyable when you can really see what's going on and you know what you're doing. If you play a cool lick that sounds cool, you can work out why it sounds cool, and you can apply that across the neck to other keys and other scenarios. So yeah, keep practicing it. You will not regret it. Okay, thanks heaps guys, and please like, subscribe, all that usual stuff, and yeah, hopefully catch you on the next one.